Hey everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be about what I consider to be one of the core frustrations / core potentials of us INFP types. And this is the relationship between our internal world and the external world. My intention for the video is to begin to sort of unravel and explore this frustration, and also to bring some flow to the issue, returning vitality, returning movement, returning possibility to an area of our life that can feel challenging or stuck or stagnant. So this relationship between the internal INFP world and the external world is something that is a major frustration in my life, but also based on the comments that I've been receiving from my other INFP videos, I'm really seeing that there's a theme for us INFPs of this frustration. So the way that I perceive this issue is there's kind of three sides to it. The first side is the frustration that many of us INFPs can experience, which is how do we express what is going on inside of us? Us who have such a rich internal experience, how do we even express such an intangible, abstract, and kind of rich internal life in the first place? The second part of the frustration is another thing that I heard a lot of from you and that I live like every day, which is the disappointment of how we are received externally. So even if we do make the effort or overcome the challenge of being able to express this internal world and we bring it out, we're often like, y'all don't even care. It's like we're expressing these, really well thought out ideas and no one's even listening. I was reading comments about this too, like we put a lot of care into people, a lot of observation into people, and they're really not really observing us back. So there's a disheartening relationship with the external world, or a disappointing, disillusioning, feeling like it's not worth it. Like, first of all, I have to put all this effort into getting this crazy stuff out of me, and then that's the response. Like, why bother, okay? Now, the third part of it is other people's frustration with us, which is I've also noticed in the comments, a couple ENTPs wrote, really interesting comments, but expressing this frustration with, just our tendency to sort of not come out with stuff. And I know my boyfriend is... it's frustrating for him. It's like we don't really come out with anything, and then when we do, it's sort of over the top. There's a lack of fluidity in that exchange. So there's us being frustrated, not being able to express it easily, and then being disappointed with the response. And then there's the third part of the frustration, which is other people being like, could you just open up a little bit, please? And please don't make it such a big deal. There's a tense relationship between these different parts. So we have this multiplayer, multi-parted frustration and tension going on. And I think a lot of the time what happens is slowly but surely we are kind of turning away from all that difficulty. And the bottom line is this kind of why bother? It's not worth it. As Karm put it, we start to calcify. That was the perfect word. So you're turning away from the world, you're forget all this tension and difficulty. But what happens is there's no more movement, there's no more, aliveness, and we start to calcify. And that's what we want to avoid, right? Because it's miserable. Depressing. So this really cool image came to me. I saw a scene intuitively, and it was the scene of a horse rescue center. Now you can replace the horse with any animal you want, but for me it showed up as a horse. It was a horse rescue center, and harmed animals are being rescued and healed. Well, there's a horse, hiding in the corner of one of the pastures, really just isolating itself. And this image came to me as that part within me that has concluded why bother? And just is I'm going to go hide in my internal world, and I'm not going to bother being in a relationship with all this frustrating stuff going on. I'll refer to it as for me, but this applies for you, and you can replace it with any animal, or you can use a horse as well if you're feeling it. But so this part of me was inaccessible and angry at life and did not want to be in relationship with life anymore. I just didn't want to participate. So I took this wounded part of me, the wounded horse part of me, through a process. And the process, you could say it had three parts. And the first one was really try to give it a safe space. sit with it. Don't go too close, don't touch it, don't ask anything of it. Just sit with it and listen to it, like however long it takes. Like there are so many degrees of what the wounds are. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own accumulated experiences. So I recommend that as a first step, is create a safe space of companionship and care and kindness. Now the second thing after that, as that part of you, as that wounded part of you will start to like warm up. That part of you that's an animal is going to start to feel safe and calm. And at that point, you want to bring in movement. So the next step is really about fluidity. Return movement to yourself. And what does movement look like? Well, often it looks like action. Like, okay, the horse is feeling safe. Let's bring it for like little walks around the pasture. It doesn't have to make contact with anyone yet, but like it needs to start moving. Now that the horse, or that part of you, that animal within you that's healing itself, is returning to vitality and is more willing to participate in life, run free like a horse in the pasture. Just start singing your song, because you were born to do that. And frustrations, tensions, challenges are all part of the mess of being alive, in my opinion. Once you've restored from harm, you're willing to participate in the messiness. It's not like everything's going to be okay now and there's never going to be any disappointments or challenges, but you have the strength now to return to participate in life. And when you do have that strength, just sing your song, because you were born to do so. That rich internal world that is our gift and our curse is what we came here to bring to things. Like that is our song, you know, that imaginative, innovative, value-driven world of feeling is part of our song. And I just really think the world could benefit from INFPs singing to it. Sing your songs, INFP, keep it moving, and take care to, you know, heal the wounds first before facing the world. And then run free like a horse in a field.